The European Union welcomed the recent reforms in Myanmar by President Thein Sein with several significant rewards to the Southeast Asian country, starting with the suspension of sanctions imposed on the country for 1 year, with the exception of an arms embargoes, followed by the visit of European Union Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton to the country on April the 28th to the 30th, in which she described the country as on a journey that has begun but not yet finished. During the trip, she presided over the opening ceremony of the European Union office in Yangon. The office is positioned to oversee the management of aid programs and to cope with political matters in the country. The EU has also declared €150 million funding for Myanmar for the year 2012 to 2013, directing to economic and social development as well as transformation toward democracy. Around €100 million will be available for health, education, alleviation of poverty, and support for civil society in the next few months.
There are several programs we are keen to support, in particularly the rural areas and the agriculture, because we believe that the investment will come to the cities like Yangon or Mandalay, for example. But it's going to be a bigger challenge to have such investment and support for development in the rural areas. And this is where the poverty rate is particularly high. And this is why this is one of the key priorities for us. But we will also work with the authorities on issues like building the proper health system and building the proper education system, because there is a great hunger for knowledge in the country. And we believe that we have the means and the know-how to really support Myanmar in this direction.
Yet it has become skeptical that this huge amount of EU money will not be spent on improving Myanmar as aimed.
It's very important, it's why we've opened the office, to make sure that we're able to channel our resources, not just from the EU, but also with our member states and with others. I met, as you know, with Ban Ki-moon while I was in Burma, Myanmar as well, in order to talk about how we collaborate. So we want to ensure that we're able to work in partnership together, and of course with the government, with Aung San Suu Kyi, and with those involved in local communities and in the ethnic areas, in order that we can deliver. We have a long history of being able to demonstrate that we are capable of delivering in many parts of the world. And I think the experience of many of our member states is going to be especially relevant in this country as well.
Those actions are seen as very positive developments in approval of the opening up of this resource-rich nation by the EU. However, this is only a first step for Myanmar in proving itself to the international community that the history will not repeat itself.
The word irreversible was a word that was used by my interlocutors, and I think is the most important word of all, because what we want to see are reforms and changes that become irreversible.
In order to fully lift the sanctions, the EU is still calling for more reforms in the country, such as the moving from ceasefire agreement to long-lasting peace with the ethnic minorities, the release of all political prisoners, and the guarantee that they would be able to participate fully in the country. While the government enjoys the outcome from the recent reforms, it is certain that more needs to be done for the country to achieve path towards democracy. Audrey Tang Mi Sang, reporting for ASEAN TV.